Hi, it's Dr. Parikh. Module 3, you've made it. So here we're going much deeper in terms of relationships and what's happening in our conversations. And the reading amount is picking up a bit. It's 3 chapters now. But again, it's a chunk, but it's not like 3 textbook chapters. And also, this is a 2-week period. Usually you're used to seeing the amount of work you're supposed to do in one day, or for one class, or for 1 week period. So as you look at this, it's honestly not that much reading for the amount of time that you're given. So it's easy to panic a little when you see 3 chapters, but it's 3 short, like light book chapters over a period of 3 weeks, or of 2 weeks. You've also got, this time I did a lot of videos. It's really where a lot of pieces are coming together. But most of them are pretty short. I'm trying to use that shorter mini lecture approach for this class, and I'm being reasonably successful, which is exciting. I'm still not planning to do chapter by chapter talk-throughs because it would feel almost like reading the chapter with you, and it would be really long and kind of boring, but you do still have access to my write-ups of the main ideas of the chapters. And honestly, a lot of these I originally created last time I taught to be little sort of reference aids for myself while I was teaching. Because I honestly prefer a much more interactive discussion style where things just kind of rise to the surface naturally and we talk about whatever people seem interested in, and a lot of, with the idea that certain information will come out at some point over the course of the semester. So in this case, so last time I taught this, I could kind of say, all right, here's what's in the chapter. Now, what are you interested in? And I would make note of what students wanted to talk about, and then we would work from there. So for the times that we are meeting, most likely I'm going to use this at least a little bit just to help me kind of remember what's in the chapter and find information to go deeper when someone brings things up. So these slides are here. They're useful. And there's no videos to go with them. But again, you'll see a lot of the same sorts of information, but I also bring in a lot of other things. In particular, the book is written from more of a business school perspective, and it's really focused just on kind of conversations and function of, what do you do? Whereas I want to make sure that we are getting more of a psychology perspective, and especially talking a little bit about theories here. So a lot of my theories that I'm talking about so far are more counseling theories. You'll see some other stuff creep in a little bit later, but I'm trying to make sure that I'm tying things to specific people or theories or approaches and giving you a deeper look into the dynamics. I'm also talking a lot about sort of applied how things function. Most of these are my lectures. I know this one is an outside video, and again, I may find more resources that I want to add in for you. So you've got 4 discussions. This last one, this is the topic, so power, discrimination, and microaggressions. This is the topic I'm most likely to add information about. It's hinted at a few times in this book, but it's not really explored that deeply. And this one was originally published, this copyright I think is 2010. Which makes it 10 years ago. And it was originally written 1999. And so a lot has changed in 20 years or even in 10 years. And I think it's incredibly important that we talk about how we, first of all, when we think of difficult conversations, race is an extremely difficult conversation that's extremely important to have. Also, when we're talking about dynamics, there are many power dynamics where race is a factor, because in general, in the US, people with darker skin have less power and privilege than people with lighter skin. And so it may, and that affects the way that you can approach conversations. It affects how people perceive you. And I think it's incredibly important that we talk about that as part of our conversation about interpersonal relationships. So one of our discussions focuses on that issue. And I invite you to bring your own experiences and thoughts and stories to that. And I've realized as I was posting that I had never, that wasn't a focus of any of my lectures. So I may add something. I may also, it's a difficult thing for me because I am very light skinned. And so I may look for existing videos or short readings from people who are not light skinned, or at least not as light as I am. Also, this module, you're going to bring in your draft of your first movie analysis paper. By draft, I mean as close as possible to what you think the finished copy should be. The idea here is that I can give you a little bit of feedback, and if you're way off the mark on something, you find out in a fairly low stakes situation. Because 20 points is 2% of your final class grade. So it's not a, even if you get 50% on it for this assignment, it's only going to drop your final grade a teeny tiny bit. This in particular, if you can possibly attend class on the day, and I think we may talk about, I think if I remember correct, well, I'll show you how to look. So we have under quick access, there's the module to-do list, that's what I'm looking at. We have the Blackboard calendar, which is where you can see specific due dates. Remember, I am holding my cards a little close to my chest. I'm putting those only in Blackboard, but that's for a very specific reason, because this semester I am expecting things to, I want to be prepared if things don't go well. Of course, I hope that everyone stays healthy and everything keeps functioning, but if there is something big that happens with the state of the world, I want to make sure that I can adapt quickly, because it was a bit of a bumpy ride in the spring. So I keep all the due dates in Blackboard so that if I need to adjust things, I can do it one place and you can very easily see that that has happened. So when is Module 3? So for fall 2020, Module 3 starts at the end of September. And so you can see movie analysis draft is due that Wednesday, the 7th. You can also go under quick access, you can go, so Blackboard calendar, module to-do list, remote meeting schedule. And I really like Google Docs for this sort of thing because I can make, similar to the Blackboard calendar, I can update the document here if I need to, and then anytime you look at it, it'll be the most current version. So here you can see October 5th. That's always the Monday of the week. So on Wednesday your draft is due, but I also want to make sure that I give time in class to talk about power, discrimination, and race. And I think that could be a very big conversation. So the following week, we'll probably talk about the draft a little bit this first week, and then again the following week. So if at all possible, attend those classes. I hope you attend all of them. I would much rather hang out with all of you than look at the screen doing a bunch of these videos. So there is a lot happening in this module. We're tackling some really important topics. We're getting into a lot of, honestly, I think this may be the crux of this book. What's going forward is a little bit more of how do you work through the issues that are brought up here. And I also think we're having big conversations that I hope will follow through the rest of our conversations in this course, whether it's in class or in the discussion boards. And again, it's also, the movie analysis paper is a big part of your grade. It kind of replaces tests for me because I don't think this class lends itself to a multiple choice format, but I do want to see you applying your work. I genuinely hope that you're able to find someone else to work with on at least one of these papers, because I think talking it out with someone, really drawing out and collaborating, I think it's an excellent, excellent way to learn. I think it's particularly if you're working on developing these sorts of interpersonal skills or becoming a helper of some sort, I think that peers and collaboration is an important part of learning all the way through. All right,